Well, a disappointing print on the housing market out this morning. Existing home sales falling more than expected in February to reach a 6-month low. Sales of previously owned homes dropped 6.6% month on month to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 6.22 million. We should note that that was the first monthly drop that we've seen since November. Now, joining us now to discuss is Daryl Fairweather, Redfin Chief Economist. Daryl, thanks so much for being with us. And I want to start things off with that existing home sales print. The second print that we've seen really disappoint against economists' expectations in the past week. We also had a disappointing print on housing starts last week. And do you really chalk this up to a temporary factor, the result of harsh winter weather in February? And where do we head from here when it comes to the strength of the housing market?
Thank you for having me. I think that these supply problems are going to be long lasting. There were some short-term shocks in February, like the weather, but there's a real problem, which is that there aren't enough homes for sale. There isn't enough new inventory coming online through new construction, and lumber prices are so high right now. I'm not too optimistic about that changing. And also, people don't want to move because they're so afraid of facing this incredibly tough seller's market when they become buyers.
Hey, Daryl, Brian Chung here. So how is rising mortgage rates kind of changing the supply and demand equation, right? Because even though the Federal Reserve hasn't lifted short-term interest rates, expectations about the future have indeed lifted 30-year borrowing costs. So has that changed the dynamics in the market so far?
You know, mortgage rates have gone up. I don't think they've gone up enough to really change the dynamics. We're still seeing the same problems of not enough inventory and a lot of buyers out there for the little supply of home that exists. I think later on, as mortgage rates start to go up even more, there'll be even more of this inventory problem because people who locked in really low mortgage rates will have another reason not to move.
And Daryl, taking a look by geography, we saw that home prices in cities grew much faster than suburban as well as urban areas for the first time since the start of the pandemic. I'm wondering if you see this trend also continuing and what that means as we start to see this work from home phenomenon start to abate in the coming months.
With work from home, people have a lot more options of places to live, but I think people are looking towards the future and seeing that restaurants may be open soon, entertainment venues may open, and they want to be in more urban areas. But they're looking especially at affordable urban areas. Places like Nashville, Tennessee, or Austin is more affordable compared to the Bay Area. Those are going to be really popular moving forward because you get a more affordable home, but you get all of the amenities.
Now, a question is about, at least in some of the high pressure areas like the New York metropolitan area, the Los Angeles metropolitan area, are bidding wars, right? You hear these horror stories of people putting in 25, 30% above asking price. It's still coming in third or fourth in the bidding process. Has that has the pressure there kind of been relieved over the past few months, or is it still as elevated as it was in the midst of the pandemic last year?
It's still elevated. The market is really tough out there, especially for first-time home buyers or people putting lower amounts down as down payments. It's really hard to compete. And a lot of buyers just don't have the stomach to put $50,000, $100,000 over asking price as their offer price. So it's really the experienced people who are willing to do what it takes, put in a strong offer, maybe the day that they see the home, that are winning right now.
And just in terms of where things are heading, going back to the question that Brian had around mortgage rates, do you see those expectations potentially driving a pull forward in demand as buyers try to get in before things start to get even higher down the line in the next 6 months, next year, and 2 years?
I think that's already happening. I think the reason that buyers are so eager to make strong offers now is that things aren't going to get more affordable later in the year. Home prices just keep going up, mortgage rates are going to likely go up. So if you wait until later this year or next year, you're probably going to end up paying even more. So that's why people are just willing to put in those strong prices.
Is there any sort of detail on the types of home builds that are going up right now? Obviously, it's going to differ by geography, but it seems like everyone wants to get more space as opposed to less space. So instead of kind of multifamily, large kind of duplex complexes, is it a lot of single family builds in certain areas, or is it really kind of different depending on where you are?
People still want the space. So single family homes are very popular. There is more of an attraction towards urban areas right now. So if you can get a new construction single family home with 3,000 square feet in the city, that's really attractive, but only people with the biggest budgets can afford that. But they are willing to spend it if they can find it.